Hello everyone, my name is Emma, and today I want to share a very special story with you, one that comes straight from my heart. The story you are about to hear is about the powerful lessons my mother taught me throughout my life. These lessons shaped who I am, guided my choices, and helped me understand the world with more clarity and kindness. In this story, I'll explain what she told me, how her advice changed me, and what you can learn from it too. This story will take you through different moments of my life, each one connected to a different piece of wisdom my mother shared with me. Some moments were happy, others were difficult, but every moment taught me something valuable. As you follow along, I want you to imagine how these lessons might help you as well, both in your personal life and in your journey of learning English. By the end of this story, you will not only know more about my mother's advice, but you will also understand how to apply her principles in your daily life. We will learn about patience, resilience, kindness, courage, and the importance of believing in yourself. These ideas may sound simple, but when you truly practice them, they can transform your life completely. My goal today is to inspire you through this story and help you improve your English at the same time. Each chapter is designed to immerse you in rich vocabulary, natural expressions, and meaningful reflections. As you read, you will practice comprehension, learn new words, and develop a deeper connection with the language. So let's begin this journey together. My mother's advice has always been a guiding light for me, and I hope that by the end of this story, her words will also bring guidance, comfort, and motivation to your life. Chapter 2. The first important lesson my mother taught me was to stay calm during difficult moments. She always said, "A calm mind makes better decisions," and even though I didn't fully understand her wisdom when I was younger, those words stayed with me. Whenever something stressful happened at school or at home, she encouraged me to breathe deeply, to think slowly, and to respond with clarity instead of reacting with fear or anger. As I grew older, I realized how true her words were. Life is full of unexpected challenges, and many people lose control when problems appear. But thanks to my mother, I learned that calmness gives you power. It allows you to see solutions instead of obstacles. It helps you avoid mistakes that come from acting too fast. And most importantly, it keeps your emotions steady so you can face anything without feeling overwhelmed. There was a moment in my teenage years when I almost gave up on a big project because I felt stressed and frustrated. I remember sitting on my bed, crying and saying I couldn't do it. My mother sat next to me and reminded me of her lesson. Calm your mind, and you will see clearly. I followed her advice, took a deep breath, and tried again. And because I stayed calm, I finished the project and succeeded. That day taught me the true power of emotional control. This lesson doesn't only apply to school or personal challenges. It also applies to learning English. Many people get frustrated when they can't understand something or when they make mistakes. My mother would always say that learning requires patience and calmness. When you stay calm, you keep learning. When you panic, you stop. Her wisdom helped me progress and stay motivated. Her lesson became a tool I use every single day. Whenever I face a difficult situation, I remind myself to breathe, relax, and trust that I can handle it. And every time I practice calmness, I feel stronger, wiser, and more prepared for whatever life brings. Chapter 3. The second lesson my mother taught me was about kindness. She always believed that kindness is one of the most powerful forces in the world. She told me, "Be kind even when people are not. Your kindness says everything about you, not about them." At first, I didn't understand why being kind mattered so much, especially when others were rude or unfair. But with time, I realized how much kindness can change people and situations. I remember a moment in school when a classmate made fun of me for my accent while speaking English. I felt embarrassed and upset, but instead of reacting with anger, I remembered my mother's words. I responded kindly, and surprisingly, the classmate apologized later. That experience taught me that kindness can break walls, soften hearts, and turn hostility into understanding. My mother also taught me that kindness is not weakness. It's strength. It takes courage to stay kind when you feel hurt or misunderstood. It takes emotional maturity to treat people with respect even when they behave badly. Kindness is a choice, a powerful one. And choosing kindness shows confidence, patience, and wisdom. Learning English also became easier when I practiced kindness toward myself. Instead of being angry when I made mistakes, I encouraged myself. Instead of criticizing my pronunciation, I reminded myself that every learner grows with time. My mother taught me that kindness begins inside, and when you treat yourself well, learning becomes enjoyable instead of stressful. Over the years, kindness has opened doors for me, helped me build friendships, and kept my heart peaceful. It's a lesson I carry everywhere, and I hope you will carry it too. When you speak, act, and learn with kindness, you become a better version of yourself. Chapter 4. The third lesson my mother gave me was to never give up, no matter how difficult something seemed. She believed that persistence was the key to success, and she often told me, "Great things take time. Don't stop just because it's hard." At first, I didn't fully understand the meaning behind those words, but life eventually taught me how true they were. There were many times when I wanted to quit, especially when things became complicated. Whether it was a school project, a personal goal, or learning English, I faced moments when everything felt impossible. But every time I thought about giving up, my mother's voice came back to me, reminding me that progress is slow but powerful. Her belief in persistence pushed me forward again and again. One of the biggest challenges I faced was preparing for an important English exam. I failed my first attempt and I felt completely discouraged. I cried and told my mother that maybe English wasn't for me. She hugged me and said, "Failure doesn't mean you can't do it. It means you're still learning." Her words gave me the strength to try again, and on my second attempt, I passed with a much higher score. This lesson taught me that persistence is not about never falling. It's about standing up after every fall. It's about understanding that success is built through repetition, patience, and resilience. When you don't give up, you become unstoppable. Every mistake becomes a lesson, and every setback becomes part of your growth. Thanks to my mother's advice, I learned to keep going even when the road was difficult. And now, I can say with confidence that persistence can take you anywhere you want to go, especially in your English journey. If you stay consistent, nothing can stop you. Chapter 5. The last major lesson my mother taught me was to believe in myself, even when others don't. She always said, "Confidence begins inside you. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will." This advice became one of the most powerful gifts she ever gave me, and it completely changed the way I approached my dreams and challenges. There were times when people told me I wasn't good enough or that my goals were unrealistic. It hurt, but my mother always reminded me that other people's opinions do not define my ability. She encouraged me to trust my potential, to focus on my progress, and to ignore negativity. Her words taught me that believing in yourself is the foundation of personal success. This lesson helped me especially when learning English. There were many moments when I felt insecure about my accent or grammar mistakes. But my mother reminded me that everyone starts as a beginner, and confidence grows with practice. When I believed in myself, I spoke more freely, learned faster, and enjoyed the process more deeply. Believing in yourself is not always easy, but it's essential. Confidence gives you the courage to try, the strength to continue, and the power to succeed. Without it, even simple tasks feel impossible. With it, no challenge is too big. My mother taught me that true growth begins the moment you stop doubting yourself. As I look back on all the wisdom my mother shared with me, I realize how deeply her lessons shaped my life. Her words taught me calmness, kindness, persistence, and self-confidence. And now, through this story, I hope her wisdom becomes part of your life too. Apply these lessons every day, and you will grow not only in English, but also as a person. Chapter 6. Another powerful lesson my mother taught me was the importance of gratitude. She always reminded me that life feels lighter and happier when we learn to appreciate what we have instead of focusing on what we lack. When I was young, I often wanted more. More toys, more clothes, more attention, and she would gently guide me back to the idea of being thankful. At first, I didn't fully understand the meaning of gratitude, but as I grew older, her words began to shine with truth. She encouraged me to practice gratitude every day, even in small ways. She would say, "Be thankful for the things people forget to appreciate. Your health, your family, your opportunities." When I started doing this, I realized how many blessings I had been overlooking. I learned that gratitude is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing the good that exists even in difficult moments. There was a time when I struggled deeply with an exam and felt completely defeated. I complained about how unfair and stressful everything felt. My mother sat beside me and asked me to name 3 things I was grateful for. At first I resisted, but eventually I did it. Surprisingly, my heart felt lighter and my mind clearer. Gratitude didn't erase my problems, but it gave me the strength to face them with a more positive attitude. As I applied this lesson to learning English, everything changed. Instead of focusing on what I couldn't do yet, I started appreciating what I could do. Understanding new words, forming sentences, improving my listening. This mindset helped me stay motivated and prevented me from feeling overwhelmed. Gratitude became a tool that turned frustration into progress. My mother's lesson taught me that gratitude is like a light that shines even in darkness. When you practice it, your life becomes richer, your heart becomes softer, and your journey becomes more meaningful. And in learning English, gratitude helps you enjoy every step of the process. Chapter 7. One of the most important lessons my mother taught me was to choose my environment wisely. She always said, "The people around you can lift you up or pull you down. Choose wisely." As a child, I didn't fully understand how much influence others had on my growth, but over time, I realized her wisdom was absolutely right. The environment we surround ourselves with shapes our mindset, our habits, and our future. She encouraged me to stay close to people who were positive, hardworking, and respectful. Whenever I spent time with people who complained constantly or didn't care about their goals, I felt my motivation disappear. But when I surrounded myself with people who believed in learning, growth, and ambition, I felt inspired to become my best self. My mother taught me that environment is not just a physical space. It's the energy and attitudes we allow into our lives. There was a moment when I almost abandoned my plan to improve my English because I was surrounded by people who made fun of my progress. They told me there was no point in trying and that I would never become fluent. Their negativity affected me, and I started doubting myself. When I told my mother about it, she reminded me again, "Your environment is your foundation. Build it strong." I changed the people I spent time with, and suddenly my motivation returned. This lesson applies to language learning in a powerful way. If you surround yourself with people who believe in education, who support your goals, and who encourage your effort, you grow faster. But if you stay around negativity, you lose confidence. When I joined English communities online, watched positive creators, and connected with learners who shared my passion, I felt supported and inspired. My mother's advice taught me that choosing the right environment is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. It determines your mindset, your confidence, and your success. And for anyone learning English, surrounding yourself with the right influences can completely transform your journey. Chapter 8. The final lesson my mother shared with me was the importance of taking action. She always said, "Dreams stay dreams unless you make a move." This lesson pushed me out of my comfort zone again and again, and it taught me that waiting for the perfect moment only delays your progress. Action, even small action, is what creates change. She encouraged me to start even when I wasn't ready. If I wanted to improve my English, I had to practice speaking, writing, reading, and listening, not just think about it. If I wanted to achieve a goal, I had to take concrete steps, not just imagine the outcome. Her words gave me the courage to try things even when I felt scared or unsure. I remember sitting with a notebook full of English phrases, afraid to actually use them in conversation. My mother looked at me and said gently, "Knowing is not enough. You must do." That moment changed everything. I started speaking more, writing more, and exposing myself to English daily. Taking action helped me improve faster than I ever expected. This lesson also taught me that action builds confidence. The more I practiced, the more comfortable I became. The more I tried, the less afraid I felt. Action helped me grow not only in English but also in life. It taught me that progress is not a mystery. It's the result of consistent effort, one step at a time. Looking back now, I understand why this was one of my mother's most important lessons. Without action, dreams fade. With action, dreams grow. And if there is one message I hope you take from this story, it's this: don't wait to become ready. Start today. Your future depends on the steps you take, not the ones you only imagine.